The movie begins with a passionate kiss between Sophie and B. Sophie tells B she loves her, but B doesn't answer. The two are on their way to a party at Sophie's childhood friend David's home when a hurricane approaches. Sophie and her friends come from wealthy families, while B comes from an Eastern European village. After arriving at the house, B gets settled before Sophie leads her outside to meet the rest of her friends. They had another guest named Max, who left after a fight with David the previous evening. It seems their friends are surprised to meet Sophie. The group hangs around, consumes alcohol and drugs, and then begins to party as it rains. They engage in a game where they take shoots and slap each other. B turns to slap David, but it is too weak. David gives Greg a heavy blow as a demonstration, shocking the other girls. As the celebration goes on, Sophie suggests that they play a game of bodies. The objective is for the players to give each one a piece of paper, and if you get the paper with the letter X, everyone you touch should fall on the floor like he is dead. The other participants should guess who the killer is. Greg is viewed as the victim after the game. Greg pretends he is dead for real, but it is a joke. David argues with Greg when he is teaching B the rules of the game, which causes Greg to say that he is going to bed. Later, when they try to identify the murderer and David suggests Emma, Alice discloses that Emma discussed her relationship with David and how they have never had sex. David got angry and went out. The girls keep on having a good time until the electricity is off. When B enters the kitchen, she discovers David stumbling into the glass door with his neck slit. The other girls rush out to help him, but he passes away. Their car doesn't start, and they have no signal to phone for assistance. Fearing one of them is a natural killer, they run back inside. Given that both Max and Greg had reasons to harm David, they are both suspects. Despite Alice's objections, the others force her to find Greg. Meanwhile, Jordan gets armed with a knife. The girls search for Greg's bags in Alice's room. They find a knife and a map with the house's location marked. The girls discover Greg in the home's gym, where he is sleeping and wearing headphones. They ask him about the things in his luggage and accuse him of killing David. He thinks it's a joke and he grabs the knife from them. The group decides to lay down their weapons, but a struggle breaks out as Emma leaps on Greg's back. He strikes him in the head with a kettlebell when he reaches and kills him. Alice cries and screams. There is still a lot of tension. Sophie blames Emma for what transpired, believing that she may have been a factor in Max killing David. She flees after being insulted by Sophie. Later, Sophie apologizes to Emma, and Emma kisses her. Sophie gives her a bag of pills as she does some cocaine. When Alice makes her way through the dark, she finds Emma lying at the foot of the stairs, having suffered a terrible fall. The girls keep blaming one another for pushing Emma, believing it was one of them. Alice and Jordan shift their focus to B, suspecting that she has been lying to Sophie about who she is. After looking her up and discovering that she did not graduate from Utah State as she had previously said, Alice and Jordan bring B outside, believing B is the murderer, as Sophie observes in silence. When B tries to return, she sees Jordan holding a gun. Finally, B enters through the dog door. B explains to Sophie who she is, mentioning that she attended Utah State for one semester and worked at the business she said before. However, B kept one secret from Sophie: she cared for her mother, who has a borderline personality condition. When a piece of paper with an X falls out of Jordan's bag, it is clear she is the game's killer, and they think she is probably killing for real. Then Jordan points her gun at Sophie and B. She thinks B is lying. Jordan tells B that she and Sophie had sex before they got there. Then Sophie said that Jordan is constantly disparaging Alice. As Alice begins making a fuss, Jordan shoots her in the leg. They struggle, and Jordan ends up accidentally shooting Alice in the head. Sophie attempts to take Jordan's gun. B jumps onto Jordan and throws Jordan over the railing. She falls and is impaled by broken glass bottles. With her last breaths, Jordan tells B to check Sophie's texts before she begins firing wildly into the air. Sophie and B hide, but B doesn't trust Sophie, and she looks for a place to hide. When morning comes, B walks around and sees the dead bodies lying everywhere. She goes outside and is found by Sophie, who tearfully tells her that she gave Emma pills and says that she tripped and fell down the stairs, and Sophie feels responsible. B takes the gun and points it at Sophie, telling her to show her the texts on her phone. Sophie throws her phone, and the two begin to fight for it before falling into the pool. When B gets out, she finds David's phone instead. They unlock it and find a TikTok on his phone where he attempted to use a Gurkha sword to open a champagne bottle because he saw Greg do the same. David had accidentally slit his own throat doing the stunt, meaning there was never a killer and everyone died for nothing. Moments later, Max returns to the house and asks Sophie and B what happened. He then notices she finally has a signal on her phone. Thanks for watching. For more content, please subscribe to the channel.